Is called Ecological Resort, and essentially it's an ecological resort, really.
It's an eco-tourist resort based around Cornwall and Devon. Okay, so our accommodation will be wooden cabins. What we wanted to do was to make them obviously with sustainable wood, which is locally sourced and in most cases is recycled. So we've contacted like a local business around Cornwall when they'll do it for us. The materials for the wood is non-toxic and it isn't harmful to the environment or to any humans that want to go inside. We also use energy efficient windows which absorb the heat from the sun, but don't let anything out, so it keeps it warmer in the winter, and in the summer you can just open them. We're going to be using solar panels and thermal solar panels, to heat up the water and stuff. But we'll also have a green roof so that we can prevent flooding. You can prevent flooding.
Yeah. Basically, it prevents flooding after heavy rainfall because it retains water. Because of it being a green roof, it obviously absorbs the water and they use it for the nutrients and things. So it reduces the amount of actual water that comes off it. So it massively reduces the chances of flooding.
It also creates like an insulator on the roof, so it prevents from heat escaping, so it cuts down that energy cost as well.
They absorb noise quite a lot as well. So
and then we'll have water and recycling as well. So any water that is lost off the roof will be stored for when water's scarce.
Transport to and from the site is available from train stations, bus depots, things like that, from a shuttle bus, which will be running, or hopefully, it'll do like trips in the like local towns and things as well, so we could organise trips out to like near villages and like other different places around that are too far from walking distance. Battery powered golf carts around the site, bicycle hire as well.
The services that we'll have on the site are a cafe, a shop that includes like, toiletries and stuff, an information desk, and we'll also be catering for like school trips and wedding venues as well. And as Andrew said, there will be a shuttle bus operating, so people can go into town for the bank and anything else they might need. With the cafe and the shop, we're selling food. It's a self-catering place, and all of the food's local and it's organic. And there's another slide, but when you come to book your holiday, you say what meals you want throughout the week and for how many people, so it reduces waste, which is this slide. So the food and drink will be ordered from the local organic shop. The stocks will depend on the customer's length of stay and the size of the group. This is to minimise food wastage and can be ordered and arranged on the website. And it will be prepared by us so that it's clean and stuff. Landscape and environment and scenery. So the site is situated around woodland, meadows, and with easy access to the hills, coastline and beaches, which is coastline but it's
It's in quite a good location because there's a lot to do around where we've got it. So there's plenty of things that you could organise. It's close to different things, so there's plenty of like outdoor activities and things you could organise there.
And it's with easy access, so it doesn't require like cars and buses and trains and stuff. So, yeah. So our evening events, what we'll have is stuff like stargazing. So we'll get someone in that knows a lot about like different stars, where they're from, what different patterns are, star patterns.
Yeah.
Campfires and barbecues, night hikes, nighttime wildlife safaris, live performances and evening talks with some eco arts and crafts. Like,
Yeah.
so some for kids, some for adults.
Daytime activities, we've got hiking, with it being quite a kind of like rural area that we've got. It's quite good for hiking, coastal walks, swimming, snorkeling. Wildlife watchings. Foraging events we came up with because we thought it'd be quite a good idea for like if you had any like scouts or explorers, anything like that come along, because it's that sort of place that it'd be ideal for them. You could have like a sort of survival style thing where you give them a certain amount of stuff and they have to go out.
Also teaches you about what berries you can eat, what mushrooms
Yeah.
you can and can't eat, depending on the effect you want. Looking at Johnny when I say this. And yeah, how you can use what woods would make the best shelter, where's the best place to make them and stuff. And sport activities such as kayaking and rock climbing and stuff. And then this is our potential for people that we tried to reach out to. So it's for students, elderly families or backpackers. I put backpackers in because we did a poll and people kind of saw them as like a separate people. Separate group of people, so they don't really fit into anything, they're just backpackers. It can be for any cultural background, so any ethnicity and nationality, age, gender, and how much money won't really affect if you can stay here or not, so it's open to everyone. We're all over the country, county, continent or the world, so it doesn't really, you don't have restrictions on where we're targeting, because obviously it's a resort, so we want people to come in from everywhere. And what will they want? So people tend to want a relaxing, fun, educational, enjoyable, cultural holiday or experience, and we try to give that through a different perspective. And what makes us different to all of the other eco places is that what we are is all sustainable. There's nothing, we don't use power for our lights, we use the sun. And then at night, and when the battery runs down from the solar energy, that's it. There's no more light. So we try to keep it as with the environment as possible. And why would they come? Because they have a common interest in the environment. They're serving the natural environment, situated in a place away from the busy, tiring urban life, to create a relaxing experience where people can become engaged with nature. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Have you thought about the cost of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive, isn't it?
Yeah,
It'd be
it's
quite expensive to set up in the first place, but I think with it being environmental, you could probably get grants
you
and stuff
can get
for
a lot
it.
of grants. Me and Andrew have been looking up, and there's a lot of grants that we could apply for. And working with certain businesses as well, they help you a lot more than you would think. So it is expensive to begin with, but then what business isn't?
With it being environmentally friendly as well, there's a bit more of demand coming up for it because everyone's obviously trying to be more eco-friendly now, and it's being pushed more and more.
We're in a place where there are eco places around, so eco hotels. So there's one in Newquay, I think. But It's not a big thing in Cornwall at the minute. Like, yeah.
So like if you have solar panels and then generators, and then in the evening if it does go off all of a sudden, what if you had say like a medical problem where you actually needed power, what are you going to have as a backup?
We'll have a generator for
backup
lights,
generators.
yeah.
You're going to offer people like braziers or like fire pits?
We had ideas for like campfire and things for like another nighttime activity, to have like a big campfire thing,
Yeah.
to have things like that. But then I suppose we could get like smaller campfires that people could hire out or something.
So have you thought about the carbon footprint of people burning wood all the time?
Yeah, well, for the campfire thing, we thought it'd be like a sort of, if there was like a family staying, like if there was loads of people coming for like a week or so,
We
then you could have
wouldn't
it just
hire
at
out
the
separate
end.
ones, we'd make a night of it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
But what if people like have got a holiday and fair enough, like everyone going to these places probably do want to spend time with like another group. But like what if they wanted to have, say what if you had a couple there and they actually wanted a bit of like privacy by
Honeymoon type
themselves?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like, and you have separate braziers or fire pits that you can rent out. Where would the wood come from that?
Well, a lot of the wood that we're using for like the building of the structures and everything is all from like sustainable wood from around the area.
Yeah.
So it'd probably come from the same source, to be honest.
But that stuff's the stuff that you'd be doing to build the
Means
buildings
from the
would be
same
all-
business, not from like the wood that we're going to use.
No, I get it. I mean, the stuff that you get, I didn't think you'd be building the houses.
Yeah,
But, the stuff that you would be buying, that would be like timber, that would be ready to like build with. Whereas the stuff you'd be burning would be
They
wood.
do firewood.
They do.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
firewood.
I thought perhaps as an idea, would you ever consider perhaps having your own small home? Because if you, I know from my dad's got an idea to do businesses where essentially because people pay to come work for you essentially. So what you could have is perhaps a small holding where you have your own pigs, your own cows, stuff like this, and you can sell the meat to them. But the same thing, you've got people who will pay you to come and help you look after them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
So you could have
something.
quite an environmental spin where you make your own food, you
Yeah.
supply them with perhaps a cooked breakfast in the morning where you have your own eggs, you have your own,
Mhm.
I guess, chicken. And
That's definitely something to consider in the future.
Then with the firewood, you could buy a really crappy piece of land that has wood on it, and you could just look after it yourself. It wouldn't have to be huge, you don't have a huge plot.
Yeah.
And that we could have an environmental spin of we have our own wood, we look after it, we make sure it's environmentally friendly, but at the same time it provides us with the wood you can cook with the food you can eat, and again, you can have people pay you to look after that for you.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
I
a
think
good
it'd be something we'd set up with it if the business got a lot bigger. I don't think it'd be something we'd start up right at the start. What were the costs of everything else? I think it'd be something that we'd go into if we like expanded the business a lot further.
You always
Just
suppose
getting
you could-
chickens and stuff in that area.
Yeah, I mean, you pigs, you can put on any land and they'll just
Yeah.
munch for everything. And plus, you've got, I think you also, if people do environmental holidays, they're actually okay with going somewhere that's not that well set up.
Yeah.
They're quite happy to take solar
Yeah,
showers
they're
and all this.
happy to
So
use
to begin with, you
recycled
could perhaps
water and
look
stuff.
at people who want to do more hardcore stuff, and then once you've got them going, you can look into.
The pigs would also help with food wastage. I know you said that you couldn't
Yeah.
buy anything in, but like if there was anything left, then you could say that you could have like biocomposters and stuff like that, or you could also have the pigs. Obviously, the pig manure could help with silos. You could set up buffering zones like composting toilets, stuff like that.
What I forgot to mention on the side actually is the fact that there are compost toilets.
I hate those.
Have you thought
But they're
about
better.
cleaning products? Because I know you said that you're going to be near a river and a sea, or somewhere near the coastline and stuff like that. Have you looked into what cleaning products you can use?
Yes. There's Ecover.
Yeah,
Eco.
that's one.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the eco-tourist businesses use it. It's something that I've also been able to, well, I'm also able to get quite easily as well. So
We can if you buy eCover, then instead of having to buy the bottle again and again and again, you can get it filled up,
Filled
can't
up,
you? So
yeah.
like I'm guessing on a large scale you probably ought to get like big
Yeah,
Big
you can
ones
get
and
big containers of it, which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Ed?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, you know, you're saying you've got the sporting activities.
Yeah.
Are you going to employ people to do that, or are you going to work with the local local businesses that will do that sort of stuff?
It'll be, yeah, we'll be working with local businesses but employing people from community as
I
well.
think it's a case, if we have someone that comes in that can do that sort of thing, then obviously they'll try and do it. But if it's something that like people want, so if something comes up on, like, if we do a survey of like if someone wants a different activity that we don't have anyone here that can provide, we can always go and see if there's businesses nearby that
Would you do the activities,
something with it.
like, say, for example, one activity on a Monday and a different one on a Tuesday, or would you just keep them all going throughout the week?
Just depends on how many people we've got and what they want. So when they book, we'll like ask them questions about what kind of things we like, and based on what they say, we'll try and put it on for them. So we'll
So
kind of
could you like a package that say like,
Yeah.
this week's a fishing week, you're into fishing,
Yeah.
camping this week.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. We'll have different packages running, but we'll try and add things in as people want them. So if Johnny came and he wanted fishing, but it wasn't fishing, we'll try and get someone to go on. Yeah.
Would you like also offer, if people want to go off hiking by themselves, would you offer maps
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, you've got
Yeah,
to do
that's
GPS
in
and
there.
everything.
Well, what we do is we'll give you like an area where we'd suggest you go, and like you
Obviously you can go
by
wherever you
yourself.
want, but
It's not like a
just-
guided
So you
tour
say
where
you
you
don't
walk
have to
around
do
with
the
your hand or
activities,
anything. It's
like,
like we suggest you go around here. This is what you can see, but feel free to do whatever you want.
Like, say if someone hasn't got the equipment, like they haven't got hiking boots or something, would you offer that as
We-
well?
We have all the equipment as well.
You could help support local businesses, I don't know,
Yeah.
like peddlers or something.
Oh, well, yeah, peddlers is definitely something we're looking into.
Directly.
Don't know if you know anyone.
Get the kayaks, go pedaling.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, I suppose, how eco-friendly would you be? Because there's eco-friendly where you kind of brand it and you recycle your rubbish, but there's also eco-friendly where you don't have plugs.
Well,
And you kind of say to people, you can't bring your own foods, we'll supply you with food, but it will be free range, it won't be the packaging kind of thing.
the majority
I mean,
of the majority of other like ecotourism resorts or hotels are just normal resorts and
They're
hotels
branded,
with
isn't it?
eco concepts to them.
And they'll do something like organic food, and they'll be like, we're eco-tourist.
Yeah, and they'll claim that it's an ecological resort.
And yet
This
they'll
is
have
as
all the
much
lights on
as
all
we
the
can
time.
get it to be.
So you won't have plugs available. I mean, you'd obviously
We'll
have
have
them
plugs.
when it's needed.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'll
What
display it
we
as very
want
much.
is we won't have like TVs in the bedrooms or like, you know, what most people have. We want them to come and experience nature. So the sounds of the frogs croaking outside is your TV basically. Like,
only one channel, okay.
but yeah, there will be plugs and stuff because if babies come.
But yeah, but if you
sterilise
display it
and
as, then people can't really complain because you can look
Yeah.
after the baby without plug. I know it's harder, but if you want to be for eco-tourism, you have to say to people that this is what you're getting. You can't just come here and
yeah,
plug in
and
the
if
phone.
they
It doesn't
know it,
work
then
like
they
that.
can't argue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know how far along you're going to be because it's.
Yeah.
And
So have you actually done a survey into what people want?
I did
from
it
the
ages
services?
ago.
Who did you?
It was people that I
You've
was
gone out
in
on a
contact.
tangent.
Yeah, like I wasn't really anyone I knew. There was an odd person that I recognised, but yeah, it will all be in the package ready to give Angela.
Have you looked at alternate power generations as well to go with solar? Because
So wind turbines.
something else, because like Mo says, if you have a child or like you want to do some cooking, you may need some electricity, and yes, you have your solar
Yeah,
panels, but what if what if, for
it's
example,
cloudy
like
all day.
what if it's really dark?
Yeah, no.
What if it's windy?
We will have electricity, but as much as we can, we'll be using the energy that we've
Where you can generate yourself.
self-generated.
You have
But
that.
we will have a backup, obviously, because in the event of like winter days when it's really short days and it can be cloudy, it can be raining, so yeah.
If you're going fully eco, have you thought about how you're going to get stocks and stuff to you? I could use a car to go pick them up or a canoe maybe.
Can you
Land
peddler?
canoe.
It depends really on where we're getting it from. If it's from somewhere relatively close by, then
Awesome cow.
yeah, basically.
Well, the thing is, you can't be. This is a massive problem everywhere, where people argue all the time that places like organic farms that give out veg boxes, they argue all the time that the methods that they use to transport their veg isn't eco-friendly when they claim to be so good for the environment. But the thing is, if you use one massive lorry or like a van with all of your stuff in it, and it goes to one place, then you, I don't know, ride a bike with a basket on the front of it to go get it. It's not as bad as if you were making that van go backwards and forth in a cart, for example. And lorries and vans are a lot more fuel efficient.
It's pretty much, it's near impossible to get a business that's completely.
You could do self-catering, and well, people have to drive them anyway, you might
Yeah.
say.
The downside with that is if you had, so very easy example, say you had 20 families on the holiday, then that would be 20 cars on the road, whereas if
We've
got
got
one
everything
van
here.
bringing in all the food, then you've taken 20 cars and turned it into one van.
Well, yeah, but the people still have to arrive there something.
They arrive, but then we pick them up with.
Yeah. We get them with the shuttle bus from the train
Well,
station.
yeah, but you still have to get them to the shuttle bus. I mean, you can't pick up everyone
But
around the
that's
country
not
and bring them
that's
back.
No,
not
that's-
our
yeah,
thing.
but
what I'm
You
saying is
can't
if you get
expect us to get a hot air balloon and
No,
fly
but
to.
What I'm
we
saying,
need
if
to
they have to
pick
drive
them
there
up.
anyway, they could bring their own food for the week, because that's an SO legal, so you might as well do it in a good package.
But
You've
then
gotta keep that
they
food.
have
Yeah.
plastics and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a problem.
The thing with what we were saying about the shuttle bus from the train. No.
what they do is they drive to one place, then we provide one single bus to go and pick them up
For
and
instance,
bring
if
them in.
the idea being that they might not have to drive somewhere to then come in. They could just go to the train station, catch the train down, and then
Or
the shuttle
get a
bus would
coach
pick
down.
everyone from the train
That's what we
station
try
down,
and get.
so that we'd limit the travel.
I really like the idea that it's informal because Centre Parks is ages away. And, how are you going to advertise it though?
Advertising.
Yeah.
Now this is a big thing. Me and Andy have had many
Put up the
discussions
Chinese
about this one.
lanterns. That's since you're going down well, lady.
Who's going up on that?
I didn't know if that was a pun or not.
Chinese lanterns have been bad festival.
We are going to use stuff like televisions, unfortunately, because that's what people use in their own homes. Radios, word of mouth, websites and stuff. So it will be.
Leaflets on
Leaflets are,
eco paper.
they're a good thing to have, but to get the most you can out of it, it'd be easier to go through like adverts and things through the radio and stuff like that, because despite it obviously not being particularly eco-friendly, you can get a lot more people in from it, and even though you've got a leaflet out, chances are someone might not even read it.
At the beginning, obviously, we're not going to go for BBC or like that. You know, we don't have that sort of budget. It's going to be like over BBC Cornwall and you know local kind of things. We're not going to aim too high at the minute. Like we're not going to go to Thailand and sell all of these send all of these leaflets out with flyers and no one comes over. So it's going to start small and work out.
I know, I think this is tricky, because I reckon you could quite easily do it with leaflets, because you're not going to be a huge business. I mean, you're never going to be Centre Park any of this, and the people you're going for might have likely not to have TVs, a hardcore ecological
But they
person.
don't necessarily have to be hardcore
Well, no, I'm not
people,
saying
you know, they
that.
could just be people
At the
like
same
me
time,
and you.
the audience you're looking at, I think, won't be highly, what's it called, you won't be as highly regarded if you did it on, if you become commercialised, I think that'll put people off. That's not my mouse, well, that's fine. That's,
Right, we have time for one more question. Leah.
I just know like logo. What does it stand for? Like logo.
Ecological, yeah.
Oh no, but like is it
Genius.
like a bird or
ecological.
The leaves behind
It's a leaf.
the sky. So that was a waste of question.
Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, you said you looked into like how much this is going to cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you look at plots of land that you could find?
Yeah.
Plots of land that you can build on.
Yes.
How much do they cost?
Not as much as we thought they
No,
were going to
it
be.
was, we looked at how many acres there were, and
How
I
many
mean,
acres did
yeah.
actually
We're
do?
planning permission on. you see.
Yeah.
Think about like teepees.
We're planning permission for a ton of ecological houses.
Pardon?
We're planning permission for a ton of ecological houses.
Yes.
Because
My dad kind of did the background because he's looked into it before.
Because me and Katie looked at trying to get some land that we could put like a wooden house on, and for a 10-acre bit of land that you're not actually allowed to live on, you're allowed to build on, but you're only allowed to stay there
There's
for
a
1 week
clause.
of the year. It's about 50,000. There's something that you want, like in Cornwall, land in Cornwall is ridiculously
We're not
expensive.
looking at like 10 acres though.
No.
10 acres isn't that, like, if you're thinking for like for a resort, it's really not that big.
I know, but once we get bigger, then it can expand. But we were looking at stuff, what was it?
We were looking at 6-7 acres, because if we go
Yeah, nice
over,
got money to say.
It's not my house. It's not my. It's just close your thing. It's not my house.
That's minimal.
No, stop controlling it. I don't even have it. Don't have it.
Rooms wanted.
but yeah, we were looking at like 6-7 acres, because even though that's just to build on, essentially, and then with it being like obviously a rural area, the coastal walks and everything that we can, we wouldn't have to buy the land all along the coastal walk, so to speak.
So what kind of revenue are you looking at for this?
I don't know what we're looking at. Yeah.
And because it's like part of the coastal park, I'm pretty sure most of that's like National Trust area, right?
It won't be on the coastal park.
Oh, it's just coastal park.
It will, yeah, it will be, you can walk
To
to
the,
it.
yeah.
You know earlier you said about
No,
you know
Last
earlier
question.
you said about sending people off wherever they want for hiking. Are you not going to have a problem with the surrounding area being owned by other people?
Well, that's why we said we'd give them
Within
maps saying
reason.
where they can go, obviously. Like this.
within reason, we're not going to say this is, I don't know, that bloke down the road, please go and trample over his land, I don't like him.
Yeah. But how are you going to police that?
How do you police public from walking over people's land?
I guess.
We would hope that they would have some sort of common sense, not to go through someone's garden.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.